Hello, my name is Bianca Rowe, and today I'll be discussing gun control laws in the United States. This issue has been one of the biggest debates in our country for years, and it affects almost every American in one way or another. Gun control in the U.S. has always been controversial. The Second Amendment gives citizens the right to bear arms, but over time that right has been clashed with public safety concerns. In the past few decades, we've seen an increase in mass shootings at schools, grocery stores, and other public places, and many people are demanding stronger laws to prevent them. Some significant steps have been taken, such as the Brady Bill in 1993, which established background checks for gun buyers. But even with these laws, gun violence still remains as a huge problem. If the government doesn't take more decisive action, shootings and deaths will likely continue to rise, affecting families, schools, and communities across the country. Several major groups are involved in this issue. Gun owners and organizations like the NRA believe new restrictions would take away their constitutional rights. On the other hand, victims and families who have been impacted by gun violence are pushing for stricter laws to help save lives. Lawmakers and police are in the middle. They must protect public safety while also respecting the rights of citizens. The cost of gun violence is extremely high. According to the Giffords Law Center, the U.S. incurs over $557 billion in annual health care costs, lost income, and law enforcement expenses. So this issue doesn't just affect safety, it affects our economy too. Supporters of gun control believe laws like universal background checks and limits on high-capacity weapons can prevent many shootings and save lives. They point to other countries with strict gun laws that have much lower rates of gun violence. Opponents, however, argue that gun ownership is a fundamental freedom. They believe responsible gun owners shouldn't be punished for the actions of criminals, and that enforcing existing laws might be more effective than creating new ones. Both sides agree that safety is essential, but they disagree on how to achieve it. I chose this topic because it's something we hear frequently in the news, on social media, and even in conversations with our friends and family. Gun violence has become too familiar, and I feel it's an issue that affects everyone, no matter where you live. Personally, I think we should have the right to own guns, but there need to be stronger background checks and waiting periods. Not everyone should be able to buy a weapon without proper screening. I also believe that addressing mental health and educating people on safe gun ownership could make a big difference. In conclusion, the goal shouldn't be to take away rights, it should be to make our country safer, which we can achieve this by striking a balance between freedom and responsibility. Universal background checks, limits on high-capacity weapons, and more substantial mental health resources are reasonable steps forward. Gun control is a complex issue, but with honest discussion and smart policy, we can reduce violence while still respecting constitutional rights. Here are the sources I used for my research. Thank you for listening.